No sign of any. Leah glanced in her mirror. The bike had righted itself and was speeding in the opposite direction. The motorcyclist wasn't hanging about to find out if she was okay. If he carried on riding like that, he'd be a statistic before long. Leah's heart felt like it was bouncing around her chest. It was just her on the bend, engine puttering. She checked her mirror again and watched the red light of the bike vanish into darkness. It was a still night, light drizzle suspended in the headlights as if it were holding its breath. Leah could hear the buzz of the motor, but was sure he wasn't coming back. She breathed out, dropped her shoulders a little, accelerated forward and picked up speed as she got on the straight road that took her to the traffic lights. Leah briefly closed her eyes. She was barely doing 40, but when she opened them again, there was no time to avoid the shape that darted in front of her. 2 eyes glinted silver as the car harshly struck flesh and bone. Chapter 2. Leah gasped as her seatbelt cut into her, and, momentarily, the impact made her lose hold of the wheel. It felt like the car was spinning, and as she clamped both hands back onto the rubber grip, she could see only darkness ahead. Was she about to crash into the wall? Her foot was jammed on the brake, but she was still moving. A row of bushes swung into view, and Leah's body jerked sideways as the Fiat abruptly halted. She cried out as her neck snapped still. After a few seconds, she opened her eyes, and her first thought was other traffic. She quickly took in her position on the road. She was half off it, the front part of her vehicle in the briars. She turned and saw the bulk of the animal she'd collided with on the right-hand side. It was a deer. She'd seen it for a split second before the car had struck it, eyes lit up by the headlights and antlers illuminated before she'd hit it full on. Leah could see them now, partially sticking up from the road like a gnarled tree growing out of its body. Her head swiveled back the other way, and the pain of doing so made her suck in air. No oncoming vehicles, but that might not be the case for long. The engine was still running, although the sound seemed muted. Leah tried to accelerate forward so the back of her car wasn't in the road. She rolled about a foot, but a dry rubbing sound emerged from the front of the Fiat before it stopped. Even when she put the pedal almost to the floor, Leah couldn't accelerate or reverse. She quickly undid her seatbelt, and as its pressure was released, she experienced a shooting pain in her abdomen. She breathed in and out a few times, and it didn't seem to get any worse. She had to move the car. If someone came tearing down the road, they might not see the rear of hers in time. She opened the door and got out, staggering sideways on the uneven marshy grass at the side of the road. The mud squelched as her boots sank. It was freezing cold, and the smell of soil was in her nostrils. Her soles squeaked on the wet blades as she negotiated the open driver's door and moved around the front of the mint-green car to examine the damage. She slid in the muck and supported herself on the front of the car, but the metallic surface was slick, and she knew what the warmth on her fingers was. Her headlights lit up the dark red covering the palm of her hand, but she fought repulsion and the instinct to wipe it on the grass. The car had to be shifted quickly, but as she leaned down to examine the left wheel, she could see the arch was crushed against the tyre. Leah tried to prise the green metal away from the rubber. It wouldn't give, and she grunted with the exertion as the edge of the arch cut into her fingers and almost drew some of her own blood. She went quickly to the rear of the car and opened the door. The kit for changing the tyre was there, and she took out the wheel wrench and trod gingerly back to the front. After 3 attempts, she managed to lever the crushed arch off the wheel, but she still wasn't sure if it was enough to allow it to turn. Leah dropped into the driver's seat and put her foot on the accelerator. The car went forward half a foot, but stopped again. Was the tyre still jammed, or was it just slipping in the mud? The back of the car was still on the road. "Come on!" She put the pedal right to the floor. "Move!" The Fiat suddenly shot forward, and before she could lift her foot, the front of the vehicle tipped forward. Leah slammed against the steering wheel as the car struck something solid.